Hello, you are watching Metamorphosis on Southland TV. I am your host, Renee Tabor, and I am very happy to have PANOREA BAKUTIS. She is the Director of Graduate and Undergraduate Studies at Robert Morris University. Welcome, PANOREA.
Hello, how are you? Yes, I am the Director of Graduate Study and Undergraduate Recruitment for
fabulous.
Robert Morris University. Thank you for having me on this great show.
You are more than welcome. I would like to raise awareness because the purpose of this particular show and what I'm wanting to bring to the community is positive people, positive stories. And you are so uplifting, and I very much appreciate just being around you. You are a very jovial spirit, and I want to raise awareness. I want people to know you, and I want them to know what you do. And that being said, Tell us about PANOREA. How did you become the Director of Graduate and Undergraduate Recruitment at Robert Morris University? What led you here?
Well, first of all, thank you for everything you just said, for all your kind words. I've lived in Orland Park for over 13 years. This is where I raised my children. And Robert Morris University is located here in Orland Park. We have 10 campuses across the state of Illinois, and of course one of them is here in Orland Park. And when my youngest entered into first grade, meaning all-day school, I reached out to Robert Morris and asked for a position. And the rest is history. Here I am. I started out part-time.
And you asked for a position. Can you tell me what that looked like? How did that conversation take place?
One of the moms that my son played with was wearing a Robert Morris University sweatshirt. And I said, hey, I've worked in education before. I'm thinking I want to get back, into the workforce. Do they need anybody? And she said, well, I don't know. Let me get a contact name. And I did, and I forwarded my resume, and they called me for an interview.
That is fantastic. That
Yes.
is one thing that I do love about you, is that you are not afraid to make that ask. And I think that is fantastic.
Yes.
I do know as well that you have history in politics. Tell me
Yes.
about that.
Yes, that was really exciting. When I came back, I went to Louisiana where I earned my MBA. And when I came back to Addison, where my parents live and where I lived and went to high school, a Greek political organization approached me who I had been with for many, many years, the United Hellenic Voters of America. And they said that they were sponsoring a candidate, of Greek American descent, to run as village trustee for the party, and they needed a candidate for the village clerk position. So my first question was, what's a village clerk? And they told me, and then I said, sure, I'll run. It sounds like something I could be a part of, and I don't know if I'll win, but it'll look good on my resume. And I ran for the office, and I was fortunate enough to win. It was an elected official position. Served the village of Addison under village clerk for 4 years as a village clerk, and then stayed on for another 2 years as village trustee.
That's amazing to me, because sometimes when you hear of government positions or politics, people clam up. It's an idea different from what they're used to seeing, or out of their comfort zone. And so to do that year after year, how do you keep that fresh? Mm-hmm. Do you make a lot of enemies? How do you keep it positive in politics?
Right. Very good question. First of all, this was on a very local level. It was for the village of Addison, for the city of Addison. And I worked for the people. I was a liaison for the residents of Addison and the village board, and village manager. So, of course, it was kept fresh because I dealt with different residents every day. And if there was a need, or some kind of issue, they would bring it to me. I would look to see if I could solve it on that level. If not, I would bring it to the board. I was also very lucky with the mayor that I was working under. His name was Anthony Rosado, who's no longer with us, but he was such a visionary. Just to see his grand plans actually come to fruition in the short time that I was there, it just showed me how much good government can do, and he was always an elected official that was for the people. So it started to top with him, and it came down to us, and I was very fortunate. It was a very positive experience, and the fact that I could help so many people from my little capacity, it was just an amazing time in my life.
I see a correlation between being that liaison and what you do now in recruitment. Can you explain a little bit more in terms of what I don't want to say a typical day might look for you, because I'm sure no day is typical, but what are your functions there at Robert Morris University? And I'd like to know more about the university
Sure.
as a whole.
Well, first of all, I am fortunate enough, again, to represent what I believe in, just like under the leadership of that last mayor that I was talking about. Obviously, I'm going to believe in education. My parents both came here, barely high school graduates from out of the country, and they instilled in my brother and myself that education is the key, as most parents, of course, instill in their children. It was just very important in our household. So when I wanted then to go into another field, education for me was just a natural pick. And I very much believe in what Robert Morris University has to offer. So when I'm out there representing Robert Morris, whether it be in a college fair or a networking event or a cable station for online or any other different venues that I would attend to make my presentation, I'm representing something that I wholeheartedly believe in. Robert Morris University, way above the national average as far as students actually completing their degree. It's one thing to sign up at a college, or a university, but it's another thing to actually have the assistance that is needed to go through the whole 3 years, because we are accelerated. It's a 3-year bachelor degree program, and actually finish. And that is one of the points of distinction I believe about Robert Morris. And I mean, we're out there, it's one of our accolades, that our graduation rate is way above the norm.
Why do you think that is? What assistance are you providing to the students that other universities or schools might not be doing?
One major point I believe that helps with that accolade that I just referenced is the fact that we give our students their schedule every quarter.
Okay.
So we don't throw that course catalog at them and say, okay, now figure it out. You better make sure you pick the right prereqs. You better make sure in your junior year you've already completed these, as you'll remember how school was for us. At Robert Morris, their advisor gives them their schedule every quarter. So there is no guessing work, there is no room for error. So they're right on time, and they're not going to get any surprises when it's time to graduate or along the way to graduation. Another factor that I believe is very important is the fact that we are accelerated. We are in a quarter system. So our students are getting 4 classes per quarter. A quarter lasts 10 weeks. This gives the students the vision to actually see the light at the end of the tunnel. Because if you'll remember semesters, they're about 6 months long. So you have these same classes, and a lot of people just feel this is never going to end. I'm just going to quit and get a job.
You can't see
But
the light.
You can't see the light. But at Robert Morris, 10 weeks goes by in a blink of an eye. So every 10 weeks, they're getting their new schedule, and in 3 years, they have earned that bachelor degree, and in 18 months, they have earned that associate degree.
Wow. Now, how long has Robert Morris University been in Orland Park?
In Orland Park, I believe we've been here for about 11 years. A need was established. They did their marketing research, and in this area with the population that they had at that time, and of course it kept growing with all the Lincoln Ways and everywhere else, just Manhattan just boomed out of nowhere. I remember the city of Manhattan, or the village of Manhattan, was one major point of reference. And we have 2 buildings here. The main building is located right behind the Orland Square Mall, right behind the JCPenney parking lot. And what we're currently offering this year is a business degree, culinary degree, and exercise study and sports. Most of our students come in either through the traditional high school graduation method, or it's adults coming back to school in the evening. because they want to finish that degree they once started but did not because life got in the way. So we have a very flexible class schedule for the adult student as well.
And I was surprised to learn that you had a culinary program that actually is very active, and they cater and they serve many functions, correct?
Oh, yes.
Tell me a little bit about that
Yes.
program.
Our culinary program, I mean, we're everywhere. We participate in all the soup kitchens, feed first responders. We also hold community events to where the community is invited to come and partake. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. We recently just did the big expo center in Tinley Park where our chef demonstrated how to make Greek yogurt. And it's a thriving degree. It's a thriving program and very well respected. Our students do very well when they graduate.
That's good to know as well, that you're not doing all of that work in vain, but there is a purpose and placement
Of course.
following completion of the program.
One of the main beliefs of Robert Morris is that we offer experiential learning. In fact, it's not a belief, it's a fact. That's what we believe in. And for example, we have the Ice Center, which is very unique to Robert Morris. Companies, and I mean real companies, actually bring their projects to our students that our students complete for them for free. So it's a win-win situation. Trust me when I tell you we have many projects to complete because, there are companies that don't want to pay their employees to do the marketing research or the statistical analysis or whatever that project would be. Our students complete it for them, and everybody's happy. And it looks amazing on their resume. And that's what it's all about, is beefing up that resume so that they will stand out from the other person that has that business management degree. Ice Center projects, huge. We offer mandatory internships. It's not, do you want to have an internship or not? It's mandatory because it's all about making them stand out from everybody else when it's time then to go out there and gain that position that they want to get in the employment world.
So let's say there is a business or a corporation watching this program, as I'm sure they will, and they would like to contact Robert Morris through the Ice Center. Can you walk through that process or
Sure.
what they would have to do?
Sure. Our main campus is downtown, but they can always contact me as well. My name is PANOREA BAKUTIS. I work out of the Robert Morris campus in Orland Park. So they could contact me or they could call Chicago, but either way we will always get them to the right person. Another thing that we offer that's very unique is for those companies that offer tuition reimbursement to their employees, we match those tuition dollars and multiply by 2 times to get a graduate degree if they come to our school, and 3 times to get an undergraduate degree. For example, if usually a company offers about $5,000 annually, we will match it by 2 times. We'll then give another $10,000 to that student to come to Robert Morris to earn the graduate degree, and then we'll match it by 3 times to get their undergraduate degree. So if companies are interested in pairing up with us, just give me a call again at Robert Morris University at the Orland Park location, because that's just huge. That's an amazing opportunity that I don't know of any other school that offers that opportunity.
Well, not to mention, that also helps from a workplace engagement standpoint.
Of course.
When a company invests in their employee.
Of course. They look like Santa Claus to their employees. And again, it's just it's a non-legal agreement. If their employee decides to come to Robert Morris, because we are corporate partners with that business, those are the opportunities that employee will receive.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. I'm very proud of that. There's just so much that I'm proud of. Last year, Money Magazine did a big study to see, is college worth the debt? Because that's what the discussion out there is right now. Okay, so they did a big study. They looked at, over 1,000 colleges and universities throughout the United States, and they had many different variables and created a formula that they applied to their study. Some of the different variables were obviously the amount of tuition that the student pays with the education that they receive. They looked at that. They looked to see how invested are the instructors in the classroom with the students. They looked at retention rates. how happy are the students to where they're actually staying at that learning institution to actually graduate. They looked at graduation rates, meaning are they graduating when they're told they're going to graduate, and looked at other variables as well. So out of this massive study that they did, they printed in their article last August the top 100 learning institutions, and Robert Morris was one of them.
That is outstanding.
We were number 44. Actually, we were in the top 50, I should say, and we were the only school in Illinois to make it in their top 50.
And right here in Orland Park,
Exactly.
which is just amazing to me because
we bring the education to the students. It's so close to home. And Renee, I also want to tell you, next page over, we were ranked as a #1 value all-star by the same study. And that extra variable that kind of gave us that title is because we work better than most schools with students that maybe were not as successful in high school. But when they come to our school, we help them just expand their wings and be a successful college graduate, because the one-on-one that they get at our school is unmatched. If a student does not show to class, that instructor will notice, will reach out to the advisor. The advisor will call the student.
Wow.
It's very one-on-one. The assistance that they get from staff and faculty is just unparalleled as far as I'm concerned, which again lends to our high graduation rates.
Absolutely. And let me ask you this, what do you think is one factor that people do not go to RMU in the Southland area? Do you think it's because they're not?
I'll give you two factors.
Okay.
One, we don't have the name recognition that the other schools may have. So if a student wants to go to, I don't know, say like U of I or DePaul because their brother or their sister went, they're not going to look at Robert Morris. Or they want to go out of state. Okay, that's a big one. And then the second factor is they will look at our cost initially, and because we are a private, not-for-profit institution, we tend to be a bit higher than, say, University of Illinois, okay? But they don't look at the big picture. Number one, they're going to finish 1 year sooner.
Right.
They are going to finish. I cannot tell you how many students come to my office, and they have gone not to just one prior school, but 2 or 3 or 4. And then they finally come around to Robert Morris. Of course, they're going to finish with us. But they still owe money at this school and that school and that school with no degree earned, because they didn't have that one-on-one, because mistakes were made in their scheduling. And they say, oh, forget this, I'm just going to leave and go to another school. Well, guess what? Now they have to start all over again. So people do not see the big picture. They don't see that once a student comes to our school, this is where they finish in an accelerated manner, and the odds are much higher than most other schools that they will actually start and complete their degree.
That is
You have to look at the big picture.
absolutely, and that is amazing. And I want to thank you so much. Do you have any other bits of information that maybe you haven't mentioned, or one last final thought you'd like to leave with our audience?
Well, let's see. For the Adult Continuing Studies program, we do have scholarships in place automatically. You automatically qualify. Give us a call at the Orland Park campus, and even if this isn't the campus where you will end up going, I will still give information. And as far as for the traditional high school student, for the last several years, we have had amazing scholarships in place for high school graduates from District 230 and School District 210. The counselors know about these opportunities. They love us for it. They tell all their students, but they want to go to University of Iowa. So I'm telling you parents that we do have amazing scholarship opportunities, and hopefully we'll have them again for year 2017. But just give us a call and I will answer your questions and provide any information you are seeking.
Thank you so much. Thank you, PANOREA BAKUTIS, Director of Graduate and Undergraduate Recruitment at Robert Morris University. This is Renee Tabor. You are watching Metamorphosis on Southland TV.